James is 9 and he has dyspraxia. He was always had problems as a young child, and we finally got a diagnosis for him in February 2005. Just have a scoot round on it. Dyspraxia is quite common. I think about 10%, maybe one in every classroom, will have some features of dyspraxia. James was always slightly different to all the other children that we knew. He fell over all the time. He was very poor balance. He would fall out of high chairs. He'd fall off a seat, trip up over nothing. All the other children were holding pens. They were scribbling already. They were talking. James wasn't talking. My view of dyspraxia is that it's a disorder of motor planning and execution. So he knows what he wants to achieve, but his ability to show you that he's achieved it is difficult. So he has an intelligence up here, and his physical ability may be down here, and this gap is what I call his frustration gap. So he knows what he wants to get to, but getting there is just beyond his grasp.
Hello, my name is Ben Hooton. That is spelled BenHooton, and I am a student at Carsham College, a college that is situated in the London Borough of Sutton. Here I study creative media. At Carsham College I get help from learning support due to my dyspraxia and condition affecting my motor function, movement, gait and handwriting. Now, I want to ask you a question, you, the audience, a simple yes or no question. Do you know what dyspraxia is? No? That's okay. It's a relatively unspoken disorder that isn't nearly discussed compared to its literature counterpart dyslexia. Luckily, the goal of this documentary is to educate you so you can understand and help identify dyspraxia in children. It's very common in 1 in 10 adults. To begin, dyspraxia is defined as a developmental disorder of the brain causing difficulties in activities requiring coordination and movement. The most common symptoms tend to be a poor balance, posture, fatigue, poor handwriting, clumsiness, gait, movement, exaggerated accessory movements, and most often a tendency to fall or trip and bump into things. These are usually symptoms found in gross motor coordination skills, or large, where the one that I have, small, fine motor functions, is a lot more common. These more include something like a lack of manual dexterity, which is really goes in hand with poor handwriting and movement, poor manipulative skills, and a difficulty with dressing and grooming activities. So you have an issue with brushing your teeth and self-care. You put on the shirt the wrong way, you have difficulties tying your shoelaces. There's any real big physical activities. DCD, or dyspraxia, is commonly found around 3 or 4 times more commonly in boys rather than girls. The cause of DCD can be a range of issues such as being born prematurely, low birth weight, family heritage, or possibly the mother drinking alcohol or doing drugs right before birth. There is no cure for dyspraxia. So, for the sake of this documentary, I went around and looked for a wide range of people to help me. And by doing this, I went around and interviewed people. Some people who have observed and are very educated on the issue of dyspraxia but don't suffer from it. And people on the other side of the spectrum who do have dyspraxia but don't understand it. And then they're here to give their opinions on these 8 set of questions which you're about to watch now. 2, 3. Hello,
My name is Aaliyah Finn, Aaliyyafinn.
Thank you. I got my first question for today. Do you know what dyspraxia is?
Not really. All I know is it's about coordination and about balance as well, but I don't know much on any further information.
I don't know too much about it, but I do know that it is a developmental disorder that affects coordination with daily activities and fine and gross motor skills.
Yes, it's a problem with moving muscles either on a gross motor situation where it could be limbs and make one very clumsy, or fine motor, which is seen in more delicate movements like tying shoelaces or writing, various other things.
Could you describe your own experience with dyspraxia? Like if you have
Right, I don't have dyspraxia myself, but I have seen people with dyspraxia. I've had one student who's had fine motor problems with his writing. It's been very difficult to read, but he can still play football as he has no problems on his gross motor situation.
Could you describe any symptoms that is commonly found in dyspraxia?
So as I said, I don't have any personal experience with dyspraxia myself. I don't have it. However, I do know that I am aware of some of the signs and symptoms, such as appearing to be clumsy is the right word quite frequently, struggling to do fine and gross motor skills such as walking in a straight line or tying up your shoelaces.
I've only recently found out that I have dyspraxia. I was diagnosed at the age of 3, but wasn't told till now. I was bad at my coordinations, couldn't tell my left, right, going any direction. I would stumble over my own feet, fall down the stairs when I was younger, just couldn't. My balance was really bad and shaky.
So there is no cure for dyspraxia, but there are therapies that can assist the child with it. What I want to ask your opinion, what is the best treatment that you know, you don't have to be right or wrong, that can help someone with dyspraxia?
So in my opinion, so obviously I don't know much, however, in my opinion it would be, I think the best treatment would be therapies, because it enables people that have dyspraxia to continuously practice these skills that they struggle with, to continue to get better at it, and it just really enables them to just practice and to for them to feel that they can do it. I think therapy and just continuous practice is the way forward for that.
I don't think there's any treatment, but to continue with life, there are people making certain materials, certain things to help zip up your jacket, to help tie your trainers and everything like that. Those things are actually very useful for some people. May not be useful for others, but for those who have dyspraxia and have disabilities, it'll be very useful. I don't know anything else. I only know those things.
Have you faced any challenges with dyspraxia?
I have when it comes to my filming. I get very shaky. I stumble over my own feet when it comes to it. I have, like I mentioned before, I've fallen down the stairs due to it. Those things.
Yeah. Finally, what are the strengths in your eyes associated with dyspraxia?
The strengths is just the character trait to show that we're all different. Everyone can work around what their disability is. Everyone's different. We can all work together and try and find a way. But I think the most positive thing is the way we work on things, the way we work around things. We are very different. We find another way to work on using our dyspraxia as positive.
Now Now, I felt I was very obligated to make this documentary. It felt like the right time to discuss this because it's something that I've had for a long time but never really gave any thought about, and this was the right time. I really hope this documentary helps you notice signs and signs of dyspraxia in children, and you can go ahead and seek help. So then something like that can no longer be undiagnosed and can become an open discussion. Until we meet again, this has been Ben Hooton.